I'm Leon Greenman. Have a look at this. My number 98,288. That's my number I got in Auschwitz-Birkenau. Although born in London a long time ago, I was brought up in Rotterdam. Now this picture shows a Dutch Nazi next to a shop, and here it says Jews not wanted. Apart from our yellow star, which the Jews had to buy for a few coppers and sew on your coat, when you walked on the streets, everybody could see you were a Jew. But you also had to have identity cards on you. And these are the ones here. You never knew who could give you away. There were people, for money, they gave you away. And if you were caught, they sent you to Mauthausen, a terrible concentration camp. It was the beginning of going to hell.
My name is Esther Bronstein. I was born in Lodz, Poland in 1928. The war broke out on September the 1st. Within a week, the following Friday, the Germans marched into our own city. By around November, we heard that there will probably be a ghetto for the Jewish population. By 1942, really deportations were going on since the beginning of the year, but it was the worst time in the Lodz ghetto. By summer 1942, the worst actually happened. I think between 15,000 and 20,000 people were deported in this dreadful, dreadful deportation. They arrived, the Germans, in the ghetto with their trucks and dogs, and they started clearing the hospitals, just throwing people onto trucks. And I have seen scenes of sort of babies being thrown out from the window onto trucks. That it's beyond human imagination. Obviously things were going very bad for the Germans by then, and they liquidated the ghetto. And the destination was Auschwitz.
Going through the arch there on that road, there were about 700 of us, men, women, children, old and young, babies, mothers, everything like that. Of the group of 700, only 50 men were taken for slave labor. The rest went into the gas chambers. This is our baby, and that's my wife. He was not quite 3 years young. The truck goes to the bathroom, the bathhouse, for a shower. And who wouldn't like a shower after a 36-hour journey? Those that could walk, walked to the shower house, and those that couldn't walk, like the young mothers and babies, they were helped onto a truck. Now that truck goes to the bathroom. They're told to undress, to hang up the clothes neat and tidy, so you'll find them back when you're finished. You enter this shower room, the doors are closed, and you're waiting there for the water to come down from the ceiling, but no water comes down, because the bathroom is really a gas chamber. On the outside of the bathroom, a soldier gets on the top of the bathroom, opens a locket and throws down Cyclone B gas. There are hundreds of little pellets. They arrive down among the people, and it develops a gas. The people start to cough, and cough. And it took 3 to 15 minutes. And then you're dead.
This, by the time we reached the railway sidings and we were brutally, virtually herded into kettle trucks, we realized, I think, that it was not going to be that good. How can you understand or comprehend that you're in a kettle truck, you're human beings, that you had 2 buckets that were put there, one with water and one for our bodily needs, and you're talking for men, women, children, people, sick people, babies. And I don't know how long the journey took, whether it was 24 hours or 48 hours, I really don't, but I'm not the only one that can't remember. And by the time we reached our destination, you know, there were so many, quite a number were dead. And we said, where are we? And they said, you don't know where you are? No. You're in Auschwitz. What's Auschwitz? Auschwitz. It's a death camp. What do you mean it's a death camp? And then they said, well, do you see smoke going up? Leave all your cases. Yes, 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 you will have it. You know, I mean, it's so bizarre. It's such an unreal world. It was reality, but it was just so incomprehensible, even after nearly 5 years of the ghetto in Lodz, where you were scared, where the Germans would come in, where people would be taken to the Gestapo headquarters, people would be tortured, deportations took place, but we were there. And it was impossible to comprehend what was going on. And we said, well, this is not for us. This is probably a lunatic asylum. We shall be sent somewhere further on. This is, you know, it's not for us. And we saw people with shaven heads. And then we're told, you know, you have to form in rows of 5, men to one side and women and children to another side. And all that we had with us, the things we were told to bring, I said, leave it. Yeah, when we inquired, will we get it? Yeah, you will get it. Or someone else would say, don't worry, you have no need for it. We would just start being pushed in rows of 5s. Pushed, pushed, and pushed. And you see hundreds, thousands of people just being pushed. And some people went to the right, and some people went to the left, and some people went to the right, and some went to the left. And then you heard some say, you know, say you're 18. When you asked how old you are, say you were 18. And then before we knew, we were just in front of selection. And we were asked how old you were, and my mother was asked, and she said 44, and she was told to go here. And I said I was 18, and I was told to go there. And I wanted to rush after my mother, and I was pushed back. I think if I had probably persevered in rushing, they wouldn't have stopped me. But in front of us, there were 2 people I knew, 2 women I knew, who had babies that were born in the ghetto. And they picked up the baby. I wanted to baby to this side. And the woman said, no, no. You know, she didn't say. She just screamed. She said, it's my baby. And she picked up the baby and said, right, you want to go with the baby, you go with the baby. So probably, hopefully, it didn't take long. But within a few hours, or maybe within 1 hour, these people were no more. And that was it. That's how the selections took place. And then there was smoke belching out of the chimneys. And that actually happened. So no matter this, when we say, and we did say that this was unprecedented in history, it is actually true. Massacres have always taken place, we know. In prehistoric times, in historic times, we know that, we read it. But in modern time, a methodical, calculated, sophisticated, working up a death factory, a death industry, that has never been heard of. Actually working, the effort and time they spent, it seemed that this seemed more important than was actually victory, than military victory.